where are you right now? You're done with work already, right? It's already past your regular work hours. Did something happen?
I'm sorry to worry you. Everything's fine, no worries. I just have more work to be done today. I'll be home after I finish this. Maybe about an hour or so.
What? Another hour? Why? What's taking you so long?
What do you mean, why? There's urgent work that needs to be done before tomorrow. I'll just finish this and I'll head straight home.
Why would you do such a thing? What are you going to do with dinner?
I'll be done after about an hour. But if you're starving already, just go ahead and eat before me.
Eat before you? What do you expect me to eat? There's nothing edible I can eat for dinner. And you call yourself engaged to me? Are you seriously thinking we can get married in this state?
What's wrong? What are you talking about? What do you mean by not being able to get married in this state?
First of all, you don't cook dinner. I can't eat dinner because there's nothing else to eat. Also, we're going to become husband and wife soon. I can't believe we're going to eat separately. This is unbelievable. Couples don't eat separately. Families don't eat separately, too.
I'm sorry about that. I'll try to go home as early as I can. I just told you that if you're starving already, you can eat ahead of me. Because I felt bad to make you wait. That's just what I wanted to say to you.
That's not what you're thinking of me means.
What are you saying?
All I want is to eat together with you. You don't understand me at all, James.
You're right, Alyssa. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, you know what? I just noticed that you didn't clean the bathroom.
I think I forgot to clean the bathroom yesterday. I'm sorry about that too.
Are you fine with that? You're not bothered at all? That the bathroom is not clean? You think you can become a husband with that kind of behavior? You've been slacking off ever since we got engaged. How can I expect you to be a good father to our future children?
I'm sorry. I'll apologize for that, but why is it that I have to do all the chores at home?
Huh? What are you complaining about? That's a given, you know. My father used to do all the chores at home. My mother was also working, so Dad did most of the chores at home. That's why you need to do the same too, James. Just like my father used to.
But haven't you been helping me with household chores before we got engaged?
That's right, before we got engaged. But after our engagement, we live together, so things will be different from now on. I will be managing your payroll, and you will do all the chores at home from now on. If you won't do that, I can't marry you.
What? You won't marry me if I don't do all the chores? But I work too, you know. What kind of twisted thinking is that? So, are you saying that the reason why you helped with the household chores is it because we weren't living together?
That's right. Now you're starting to understand me. Now that we're living together, we can see what we'll be like when we get married, right? That's why I thought that. I might want you to become aware of these things. If you're going to be my husband, you need to become aware of your role as a husband. These things I told you about are common sense.
But you know what, Alyssa? We're different from your parents. We're not your parents. I think it would be better for us if we find our way of doing things. Don't you think so too?
What do you mean by that? I don't get where you're going at all.
There are more times when I arrive home later than you, and so I won't be able to cook dinner for us all the time. We can make it work by being more flexible with our thinking, How about the one who comes home first cooks dinner? If we don't do it like that, I think it will be difficult for me to cook all the time.
Are you telling me to do the household chores as well? When I'm also working just like you are? How could you ask me to do that? That's too much of you to ask from me.
Too much? What do you mean, too much?
My dad never asked my mom to do the chores at home. Not even once. You're unbelievable, James. Do you seriously want to marry me with that attitude?
Of course I want to marry you. That's the whole point of proposing to you. But frankly speaking, to do all the chores by myself without help from you is impossible. It's only been a week since we started living together, but never have I expected you to not do anything at all. That's why I'm starting to feel tired now.
How awful of you to say that! I never expected you to say such a horrible thing.
Also, if that's what you wanted to do all along, I wish you told me about it before we lived together. I wanted to discuss it with you and decide together too as a couple. But the moment we started living in together, you told me to do everything because you don't want to do house chores. Since you told me that after we started living together, I was of course shocked by that. It's just a normal reaction for someone to be surprised by something bad.
Ugh, James, you really are the worst.
What? Why do you think so?
Never would I have ever thought that you're that kind of man. What do you mean? Because by refusing to do the chores at home, you're implying that household chores are what women do. I never thought that's how you think of women as. You're too horrible. I feel like you've betrayed me.
What are you saying? Do you even hear yourself? I'm sorry, I don't understand you at all.
You're busy at work, so you're telling me to do the chores at home.
That's not it. You're not understanding me. What I was trying to tell you is that we need to cooperate to make this thing work.
My dad never said that to my mom, because he respected my mom's work.
But aren't your parents divorced?
Why would you say that? That's irrelevant from what we're talking about right now.
You're right. I'm sorry about that.
If you won't understand me, we'll break off our engagement.
What? You're breaking off our engagement for this minor reason?
That's right. But it's not a minor reason, and it means a lot to me.
Our wedding is next month, you know.
That's right. That's why we would be troubling a lot of people. I'm going to demand alimony too from you, you know. So brace yourself.
Are you seriously saying that? Are saying that if I don't agree to do all the household chores for the rest of my life, you're going to break off our engagement?
That's right. You heard me correctly. If you don't promise to do that, I'll be calling our wedding off and you won't be able to marry me. You don't get paid much and you don't look that good. But I chose you because you look like you're going to help me with household chores. If this is the case, I should have been better off marrying my ex-boyfriend.
So you didn't choose me for me, nor because you were attracted to me. You chose me based on whether I will do chores or not after we get married?
Of course that's a given. It's common sense. Did you think that you have good qualities, other than good at cooking and a good homemaker? I'm sorry to hit you with the truth, but you're not attractive at all. Other than those qualities I've mentioned earlier, the only reason why I agreed to marry you was because you looked like you would do the chores at home after we got married. No other reasons at all whatsoever.
You really are quite frank, aren't you?
That's why, if you can't do everything I said, I won't marry you. You should pay alimony and break off our engagement.
Understood, just as you said.
I'm glad to hear that you understand me. Come home as early as you can, okay? Of course, you should prioritize home instead of work, okay? My dad used to come home on time every night, so...
No, what I meant by understood is, I understood that we will break off our engagement.
Huh? What are you saying? That joke is not funny at all.
That's because it's not a joke.
What do you mean it's not a joke?
The house is under my name, so will you please leave the house? You still have some things left in the previous house. so it's not yet being cancelled, right? Because you said that you'll leave it that way until we get married. You'll probably be able to go back to that house now, right? I don't think it's too late yet.
Wait a minute. I don't follow what you're saying. What do you mean? Are you trying to kick me out?
If you want to stay in our current house, you can change it to your name. Because I will leave instead. But I was the one who covered all the expenses for moving in, and if you want to live there, Alyssa, then I would be glad if you would cover my expenses moving out. Because I will have to look for a different place, you know?
Are you saying that? Does that mean you're going to cancel our wedding?
I think that's for the best. Let me tell you frankly, I can't become like your father, Alyssa. I wanted us to search our path and live our own lives by our terms, but now that I heard the only reason why you agreed to marry me, I don't think we'll become happy even if we get married.
I might have said too much, but how horrible of you to break off our engagement instantaneously.
You're the one who asked for it, didn't you? You forced me to choose whether to do all the chores at home despite having a full-time job, or to break off our engagement and go our separate ways. You said that earlier, remember? I love you, Alyssa. I didn't want to break up with you, but I can't do this anymore. I don't feel like we can be a couple anymore. Also, I won't pay alimony to you. It's a problem we both have. So I want you to pay for half of the cancellation fee for the wedding ceremony.
What? Cancel the wedding? Are you seriously asking me to pay for the cancellation?
We won't be getting married, so of course we're not going to have a wedding ceremony. I mean, I paid for all the expenses for the wedding ceremony, so you should pay half of the cancellation fee to me.
Wait a minute. Everything is happening so fast. I can't keep up with it.
There's one more thing I wanted to tell you. You took my bank's cash card and credit card from my wallet, didn't you?
Huh? Well, I did take it, but it was only because I need to manage our finances. So I thought it's just normal to do that.
Stuff like that? Don't you think it's normal to ask me first?
But I didn't think of using it for my own, so...
I wasn't done. Don't cut me off like that. I was out to meet a client outside the office and I couldn't make the payment, so I ended up having to go back and forth. That's why I'm working overtime. I even inconvenienced my clients thanks to your doing.
I didn't know that.
I can't live peacefully with someone who does things like that without asking me first. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to leave the house? Or are you going to pay for my expenses moving out and stay there yourself?
I want to get married. I already told everyone that I'm getting married, and I'm thinking of resigning next month. So I was preparing for that, but...
What did you just say? I haven't heard about that too. So, does that mean that you're going to become a housewife, manage my money, and make me do all the chores at home?
If you say it like that, it might sound like that, but I also have things to do, you know? Like preparing to welcome a baby when I get pregnant, and stuff like that.
You decide everything too much without consulting me. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have broken off the engagement. I will contact your parents and tell them the news and why we've come to this decision.
What are you planning to tell them? Are you seriously going to do that?
Of course I will. I don't know yet if I will be able to demand it in the form of alimony, but as for the cancellation fee for the wedding ceremony, I would definitely ask you to cover half of it. But I'm actually glad that I found this out before we got married.
I want to get married! Please, James!
If you want to find someone willing to do the chores for you, then you should strive to become rich and hire someone to do the household chores for you. That would make things easier, I think. Stop forcing your ideals on others. If you're planning on quitting your job when you get married, and if you don't even plan on doing the household chores, I feel really relieved that I didn't marry you. Anyway, leave immediately, okay?
After that, Alyssa tried to contact James several times, but James didn't take any of her calls, nor replied to any of her messages. James reported to Alyssa's parents what their daughter has done, and explained everything that happened. Rumors say that Alyssa's mother apologized to James, that she might have failed in raising her daughter. Alyssa ended up quitting her job. As the cancellation fee for the wedding, Alyssa borrowed money from her parents and was somehow able to pay James. Rumors also say that she went back to her hometown and started looking for work there. After that, she attempted to look for a partner, but with her age being 35 years old and her demands of making the man do the household chores, she didn't get matched to anyone at all. If your ambitions are too high, higher than what you deserve, I guess you won't end up happy.